They can't hear you. All right. Can they hear us? Oh, okay.
All right. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode. Let's start off with the market. A lot of interesting things happening last week. Elon and Trump still seem to be on the outs, but my Tesla short is, I guess I'm still positive on it. But
TMZ said they were getting back together, by the way.
well, I mean, that's why Tesla's moving off the bottom. I mean,
All right.
to cover my short somewhere here, we'll see. So market basically doing nothing today, but as usual, all of the action is beneath the surface. So I think Wednesday or Thursday in the Daily Heat, we wrote about the possibility that drones could be next. And, that happened on Friday. Trump signed an executive order on drones. We did talk about a small cap in the Daily Heat this morning, ONDS, a drone stock, up 10%. Very nice. I also talked about UMAC. Holy crap.
Yeah, you're looking at that now.
up 23%.
It's the Tuttle effect. Wait, it's a Tuttle effect. Shh, which is a sound effect.
Candlesticks is it gives you a real good sense of what's going on. So Friday morning, Rocket Lab opened up down big. Didn't make sense. I bought the dip. Today it opened, and then it sold off at the open. I bought the dip again. The idea is that maybe SpaceX is on the outs, Rocket Lab, ASTS. Wow. Yeah, another one. RDW, which I know Jeremy's been talking about. I'm not in that. I'm in ASTS and Rocket
That one's
Lab.
fun.
What do these guys do? Cure cancer or what? Better than that?
No, they're space-based company.
Yep, space-based stuff.
I know. I'm
Space
just
tech.
a joke. Got it. I get it.
Yeah.
Better than curing cancer.
No. So going into, kind of what we talk about on thematics, space is obviously going to be massive. I don't remember whether we talked about it on a podcast or I wrote about it in the Daily Heat, but that whole idea of solar energy going through satellites. I mean, there's just so much going to be going on in space. And if SpaceX is on the outs with the government, a bunch of these other companies are going to be the beneficiaries. What else is there?
Big pile of winners and losers.
Caliber or Columbia is slowed down a little bit. That's Don Jr.'s SPAC. CEP, it's still holding in. Oops, I always get that one wrong.
I did the same.
Yeah, GSR, that's the nuclear SPAC. So yeah, everything holding in. And again, I'd say what I keep saying, stick with Trump's inner circle theme. Again, I may end up getting out of my Tesla short at some point during this call. But so far that's working great. Jeremy, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm the day trader, so I closed my Tesla short the same day. I ended up buying some out of the money, literally Friday expiration, like next day expiration on Thursday, and closed them the same day. And I was like, yeah, that's enough. I'm good. As for the market, I mean, I'm always watching QQQ over SPY. I think QQQ, the chart's a little more smoothed out than SPY is, so it plays a little better with what I do. I do have a measured move target up there around 533. It didn't quite get there yet today, but it's still there. It did on Thursday, and then as soon as it hit it, it rejected it. You saw me do the arm pump live on the podcast. That was me cashing in at that target. And then, boy, did it fall. I wish I would have flipped it and went short on it towards the end of the day there, but I was too busy watching my Tesla position, getting out in time. Today, we're looking like we're setting right up on the same support level that we opened with on that Thursday, and there's a good chance we can complete the measured move, the 533 was about the half target, and the rest of it is approaching the all-time highs. I don't know if it'll quite get there, but momentum-wise, we're building up to maybe start seeing some movement towards the north. I'm still pretty bullish in this, in spite of that little falling out between Uncle Elon and Donnie over there. So
The path of least resistance seems to be up,
yes,
at least until we start to see negative economic numbers kind of moving into these releases, which maybe a month or two away from starting to see that, but maybe not. But until then, path of least resistance definitely seems to be up. But the market's not doing a heck of a lot. Stick with the major themes. So Pat, you want to introduce
Yep.
Geeseok?
Yep. Hello, everybody. This is Geeseok Oh from Rec Shares in Hong Kong, one of my favorite places. He's a prolific poster on LinkedIn. I saw his posts. I thought they were cool. I didn't even realize he was one of our partners until I looked up and I said, oh, he's with Rec Shares. We got to get this guy on the podcast. So here he is. I want to say one thing. This is one comment he made that I thought was interesting. We do leverage ETFs with these guys called in a platform called T-Rex, right? So he says the size of leverage and inverse ETPs in the U.S. has doubled since 2022. So good. I guess we're in a good spot. What's up,
Yeah.
sir?
Thank you, Pat, Jeremy, Matt. Very nice meeting you, and thanks for meeting it was a great opportunity for saying hi and sharing some of my thoughts and observations in Asia, mostly to the audience today. So, where should we start? So, the leverage side first, or the other, the Hong Kong or China story?
Go to the
Uh,
leverage.
leverage is
That's what
fine.
we're paying. That's what we're paying for.
We'll start with the fun stuff.
Right. Okay, so the one of the after COVID-19 and at this moment, there has been a huge trend has been formed for investing into the US listed stocks and ETF from the Asian investors. And Tesla, you discussed earlier today, has been the one of the most beloved stock among the investors. Like Elon Musk, people find him as a visionary, and then the sharing the great innovation to the human society or human being level. So the tons of the money was following into the Tesla stock. So at this moment, still after tanking in South Korea, we are seeing around 19 billion US dollar plus each of the money is buying the Tesla stock, which is from the retail side. Excluding all the institutional side, only retail 19 billion plus
Wow.
of that is buying the Tesla right now. And not exactly the same amount, but quite a big chunk of the retail investors are also wants to express their view in the leverage and inverse ETF. For example, we have a TSLT, two-time Tesla lever, and TSLZ, two-time inverse. They do very tactically for trading. So we are seeing some TSLZ hedging product in and out during around the corner of the last weekend. And one of interesting article I found in Korea, which is written in Korean version, if I'm translating it, is the now investor finding comfortable in Tesla stock price level. So they are selling gold and buy Tesla. That was the out in the one of the major the Korean newspaper as headline over the weekend. So we'll see. Not so sure whether that trend will continue, but yeah, wish that could be interesting for you.
Yeah. So what they're saying that Korean investors are selling gold and buying Tesla.
Yeah,
they-
profit taking from the gold and then buy the dip in Tesla.
Interesting.
It did
All
well.
right.
Gold has been holding a nice trend.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so Geese, we've had this conversation here, like internally about like we do, the T-Rex products do well in Korea. You just mentioned Korea. Can you talk on that a little bit?
Oh yeah.
Sure. Around the 1 billion, no, around the 700 million each of the TRX products are currently invested from South Korea. If I'm just adding up the older numbers in the Asian market, which is the best guesses, basis
Yeah.
around 1 billion each. This could be sourced from the Asian market right now, and there could be the couple of reasons why the Asian investors are so much like the trading the inverse and the leverage product in overall. I think the one of the big issue is the first of all, risk appetite is different. So, which is some observation I found across the Asia region. When I had interviewed a Bloomberg journalist in Korea, she say, like, what's wrong with Korea? Why Korea or the Asian investor love the trading leverage product so much? Which is not the case for the US, especially for the investor really love the trading the US listed product. Why not trading in Korea listed the leverage inverse product? So I've been in ETF industry close to 15 years right now. And then my answer to her question was I mean, even before T-Rex invented or the many other the leverage inverse ETF available in US stock market, Korean investors love the trading all the volatile product. So uh, around the early 2010-ish, Korea was a model market of the most trading notional of the derivatives, Kospi futures and Kospi options. Aggregate size, Korea was known to be the world's largest option market and derivative market in the world. And now, the India is taking a throne of that the title of the world largest derivative market in terms of
Wow.
trading. Yeah. Well, I mean that the gene or the kind of trading habits is long. I mean, it's still there. So, um, as investors in Asia, including Korea, Japan, or broadly, they found it still difficult. Or I mean, getting more difficult to trading the options and futures because the governments are start to adding more regulatory requirement, increase margin, or the asking for the necessary the training hours per year, etc. So make it difficult for trading options from the retail investors, and then that money is the slowly migrating into the leverage and inverse product, which is a package solution to those derivatives into the ETF the form. So that is the one of observation I'm seeing at this moment. And another one is I'm not so sure for the US market, but in Asia and many countries, it's quite difficult to make a short selling for the retail
Right.
investors. And also it's difficult to make a bet on the futures or options market as well. So there's a reason for we are seeing quite a good amount of the inverse ETF are trading for hedging the downside risk or the tactical the trading or the express the investor view on negative market sentiments is happening at this moment. So yeah, I hope is kind of make a little bit of it's not a myth bust, but anyway, solve your questions, Pat.
So to put it into perspective, you're saying that the T-Rex assets, there's close to 1 billion in Korea, and right now the total is 3.2. So that's basically a third
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how many people are in Korea versus the US, but it's
yeah,
not even close. It's so yeah, it is amazing that so much
right.
of the assets
What are the
is
most popular ones, Gisa?
MSTU and
MSCU.
TSLT. Yeah, MSTU and TSLT. Two of the products are most popular right now. I mean, Korea, still the spot Bitcoin ETF is not allowed.
All
So
right.
investor
but that
can
now is
enter.
that changing soon though? That's what I heard.
Yes, it would be changing soon because we just elected the new president on June 4th, around the 5 days ago, 4 days ago. So we will have he's very pro to the crypto and then broader the market reform. So we would see, but still it will take some time for the the legislation and also the asset managers need to file for the local regulatory for the the listing product. So it will take us 6 months plus of time. So asset managers in South Korea, they think that maybe end of this year or the early next year, we may see some spot or the futures back Bitcoin in South Korean markets. But at this moment, as of today, the spot ETFs are not tradable for the local investors, and which is the same case for Japan as well. So some common, Japan and Korea, we have some time to time the rules and regulations are quite alike, even though there are slight variations. So in Japan right now, both the futures back and the spot ETF are not tradable, which is US traded one, and there's zero Bitcoin ETF in Japan market right now. And MSTU is providing great access to the Bitcoin exposure, while this is
Right.
a bit more
That
levered
makes sense.
by the Bitcoin treasury, the financing structure. So it's been traded very well. And Tesla, as I said before, people just believe in Tesla. Yeah. Regardless of the stock price, they believe in. And I found the quite fascinating article a couple days ago. On May 2025, South Korea was the maybe fourth or the fifth largest country in terms of the Tesla, the vehicle monthly selling, the record. So a lot of
Right.
people in here are the buying Tesla. Actually, they hate the Chinese EV maker because
Right.
foreign investors, they hold a lot of Tesla stocks. They love Tesla car, so they do not want China EV company spreading outside of their home country. They hate it. But the first shop of the BYD, they just opened up in Korea around a month ago. Yeah.
So it leads me to my next question about BYD. I mean, we
Yeah.
have a T-Rex as a BYD.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not
2X
yet.
Trying to
planned.
get
We
it.
have planned, right?
Yeah, I plan.
Yes.
I think, yeah, not yet listed, but I love to see. Yeah.
Right.
I'll be
Right.
the mushroom on that one. I don't know too many details about it yet.
All right.
No details to know. 2x void.
There
All
we go.
right.
Be simple.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah. Simple.
So
Very simple.
before we move on from this, I just want to ask you a question. So any thoughts, like ideas for Matt, like, okay, we should do this, Matt, or we should do that. No, maybe we should come up with one of these, or do you have any thoughts like that?
So
Isak, can you hear me?
Me, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
wasn't asking
Yeah.
Jeremy.
No, not me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on
Yeah.
any new product
I
ideas?
don't know that we want to give away
Our secrets, trade secrets.
our
Okay, all
trade
right, my
secrets
bad.
Yeah.
here.
All
Let's
right,
keep it quiet in here.
all
I'm
right.
actually I'm going to
Yeah.
be out in Korea in September, so
Yes.
Geeseok can
Yes.
tell me any
All right,
Right.
nuts he's got for me then.
all right,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Checking the lamps for bugs and stuff, right? All right, all
Right.
right.
Yeah, I mean it's Korea's the new battleground. Everyone's out.
Everyone's here.
Oh, is that it? I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Jeremy, you want to talk about China a little bit? I got to walk. I just realized my computer is about to die, so I got to
Oh
get my
no.
battery. But why don't you talk to him about, ask him your questions about China, Jeremy, please?
So I mean, I've noticed that there's a lot of political upheaval in China. A lot of people are very upset about. Well, first off, I mean the tariffs kind of set this off, and then things kind of started crumbling, where the job markets are just really insecure. A lot of the infrastructure is not even inhabited in many cases.
Yeah.
Lots of people in the streets just not very happy about it. What do we see with some of the other Chinese industries? I mean, BYD is just one of them, but I mean, there's a
Yeah.
few that should be paid attention to, I would think.
Right. For around the last 5 to 10 years issue period, the one of the biggest concern about China market and industry was oversupply issue. Oversupply in every single industry. It has been not yet solved, frankly speaking, especially the China real estate market. Unlike the most of the other countries, we are seeing a downturn for last 5 years. every single year price come down, more forfeit or the foreclosure by the banks of the real estate, the developers or etc. And one of the it also impacting to Hong Kong as well. Hong Kong used to be known as the finance sector heavy the country, and in one day the market benchmark in Hong Kong is the Hang Seng Index. And around the 10 years ago, the bank and the real estate developer takes around 50% of the
Right.
market cap of the Hang Seng Index, which is quite opposite from
Yeah.
what they are in the US market right now. And those are big banks, and then the big developers has been suffering for a long time, especially for developer. And one of the latest news is one famous developer here is a New World Developments.
Right.
They've been issuing a lot of debt financing for kind of surviving through the COVID-19 the era and up to this moment, and they were actually failed to the payback for the couple of the debt interest payment. It was happening around a week ago. And the fixed income, the bond price of the New World Development was just traded at half of its par value, and it's still kind of a little bit shaky right now. And I think that is reflecting what the China economy overall at this moment, especially for the real estate market. But at the same time, the some of the area where we are seeing the quite progress is the some tech names like a BYD EV maker is quite controversial because I remember I forgot which bank released the article, but they comparing the BYD and Tesla. Both company has a similar the revenue level right now, but the Tesla stock price is 7 times higher than BYD.
Right.
Is
Yeah.
it justifiable? Either the BYD is on the value, or the Tesla is overpriced, or the another element or the business line of Tesla's IP is make it justifying. So I don't have a clear answer right now, but one interesting thing is the BYD that becomes the world's largest the EV car maker at this moment. And in China, it's not only BYD. There are another car maker like a GD, or even used to be known as what's that? The mobile handset the maker Huawei,
Why?
Xiaomi.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are entering into this market, and they become quite substantial. And yeah, there are also oversupply concerns around for these EV makers as well. But it was a surprising to see how fast they've been developing the industry, especially the one company I'm particularly looking at for the PA perspective is
Yeah, which
the
is?
CATL, the CATL,
Can you
which is
get
Hong Kong listed. Let me just get the ticker, CATL ticker.
CATL? Here we go.
CATL or CATL?
That's Hong
CA,
Kong. Is
yeah,
it
Ah,
US?
CATL, the battery maker, Hong Kong stock.
yeah, that's probably not
I
it.
thought it said CAT L, not
It
CAP.
doesn't
Yeah,
matter. If it's
CATL,
Hong
yeah,
Kong
Yeah.
listed, I'm
Oh,
not
it's Hong
getting it.
CATL.
Kong. Oh, it's
yeah,
HK?
CATL. What's the ticker? 3750. Oh no, this is not the one. Sorry. I
Oh,
can't
it's
find.
not US.
No.
I thought it
Yeah.
was. It wasn't Cat L. I
Yes.
can never remember the converted ticket for that.
Well, so
Well,
Matt, I was just gonna say, like you mentioned, like Tesla valuation. I mean, Matt, I think you believe it's the robots that make Tesla valuable, right? Optimus, et cetera. No?
I mean, I think Tesla is much more than just EVs.
Yeah.
I think the robotics are a massive thing.
yeah.
The other areas that they're in as well.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, if you're looking at it purely as an EV or purely as robo-taxi, I think you're missing the boat.
Right.
But I did just cover my Tesla short, and now it's starting to turn back down. Great timing.
Ah,
Ah,
So we'll figure
Day
it out.
traded.
CATL and HK, we'll figure it out. We'll
Yeah.
put it in the
Yeah.
chat. We'll put it in the chat later. But let
Yeah.
me ask you a question about tariffs, Geesock, right? We haven't
Sure.
mentioned
Yes.
that. If you were on this show 3 weeks ago, all we talked about was tariffs.
Right, now
We didn't
nobody
talk
gives
about
a
it.
crap.
We didn't talk about anything else. But so what's
Sure,
going
you're
on with China and tariffs these days?
First of all, I'm not able to follow every single line because every day there's new news over
Right.
there.
Right.
But my personal belief is China and US, they will make agreements relatively faster than what the market is expecting. I mean, US, is my perspective, is the US has their own reason. Mr. Donald Trump, president, has his own reason to make a deal come through, which is same case for China as well. I think Xi Jinping, on the surface, he looks very calm, not responding much to the US.
Right.
But I mean, Jeremy, you mentioned about all the issues they have right now for the unemployment and local economy issues, and I mean, it is a too risky for his political the life to risking to not make a deal with the U.S. For example, like I mean, the tariff. Let's wire back our the watch a little bit, like in the peak era, sometime the middle of April, early April, tariff goes to 125, 140% ish. Then as of the entrepreneur or the company's perspective, they cannot do anything. No investments, not even so sure how much of the pricing they need to sell to the other countries and how to get through the customs, etc. Everything was pretty much kind of suspended. Um, they are not taking any orders, no exporting, so it was a terrible. And if that kind of situation is going long lasting for maybe let's say over 2 to 3 months of time, then it will trigger the massive job cuts in China, will further worsening the Chinese economic situation and supporting ratio may not matter for China, but anyway, the people's supporting ratio in the depth of their heart will definitely decreasing, which is not good. So I've been telling the media that I don't have a crystal ball to the forecasting when will be the exact day they will set the deal, but I believe despite of the very calm surface of the Mr. Xi Jinping, but there's a great amount of reason he need to get the deal with the U.S. That's what I'm believing.
Right. So you think it's going to get done? So I think it's HK 3750. The name of the company is
Yes, yes, three seven
Contemporary
five zero.
Amperex Technology Co. It was a new
Yes,
listing. I don't know, March, May. It was a new listing recently. No, just a
it's a
listing on
new listing. It's
HK. Yeah,
May
yeah.
20. Yeah, May 20 the new listing.
3750. Go for it. This is the
Yeah,
Tuttle effect in action. All right.
Watch and
So,
learn.
so I was going to say one more thing. What was it? Oh, no, no. So from your, so we have this conversation here just now about like
yeah.
Donald and Elon. So what is the, Asian perspective on that? I mean, I don't even think we know what to make of it. What do you guys say?
Right.
Yeah.
Which is not usual. I don't know how to say. It's a beyond the Asian culture. So it goes little very wild. So I think I was in Japan for participating a some conference, and I was kind of looking at Twitter X, the pretty much real time. What's going on in here? This is going crazy.
So you think you're saying that your culture views this as crazier than we do? Is that what you said?
No, no,
Yeah?
no. I'm saying is, I mean,
Or just the opposite?
I'm
More.
not so sure whether the Elon versus Trump that the quarrel was often seen for Europe guys,
Right.
but in Asia, I mean, it's pretty much zero chance to see the some entrepreneur are they fighting against in openly with
All right.
politicians or the president or some country. So I wasn't able to see any of that in my life,
All
but
right. Yeah.
Elon wake me up. He wakes me up.
All
So
right. I got it.
yeah,
So
Didn't
yours,
didn't South Korea just recently have some political issues?
We had a lot.
martial law or something like that?
We had a lot. So South Korea is I'm not so sure. Maybe the only country had the presidential impeachment. We had a two-time the impeachment for the last 10 years. So maybe we are the only country of the seeing that. And so it's a little bit of my personal story is the on the day, it was last December 3rd or 4th, that the impeached president, he brings a military to the National Congress. I was in Japan. And the day the president got impeached, I was in Japan for a business trip. And the election day, which was the June 4th, somehow I was in Japan as well. So I missed pretty much of the political event of South Korea, but it has been a while. It has been a while. Uh, but the new president, he's very so far he's bringing a lot of initiative to the Korean market right now. So one of the way he wants to the pushing Korean market higher is the changing the regulations to officially the motivating company to boosting their valuation, kind of similar to what Japan market did for the last 1 to 2 years of time. And Korean investors are start to looking at, and yeah, I see the EWI. It's started rebounding after the cleanup of the political uncertainty we've been seeing for the last couple of months.
Yeah, no, it looks, I pulled up a monthly chart. So you're
Yeah.
still ways away from the all-time highs you guys
Right.
made, but
Yes.
quite a move the past couple of months, though.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, current president wants to make the current post-peak price, which is the EWI, is the not kind of benchmark-ish, at least double from the current point during his presidency. Let's see how it goes.
Right. So what's the main Japan ETF, Matt?
What is that? Japan ETF.
EWJ.
Yeah. By the way, Pat,
Yeah.
you have an admirer in Tokyo on the chat there.
What does it say?
It said, Pat is the best looking commentator.
Oh, I
And
wrote that.
oh, okay, that was you. No, it
Love to.
says some dude named
Yeah,
John.
that's not weird at all.
No, not at all. I agree to
Yeah.
it. Pat is a stud.
So we've been talking about Japan a little bit too. Over here, bonds, competitive pricing, taking money away from our markets. What do you make of that theme or thought?
Yeah, it has been the one of driver for making US Treasury tantrum a little bit for the last couple of months. And the one thing is I'm not so sure whether the Japan investors they intended it or not, but I think that was around the end of the first quarter 2025, if I remember correctly. And that is the Japan company's financial year ends, and then they want to make the book relatively cleaner. I'm not so sure for the detail how they do. So it is a kind of a yearly routine activity from the big Japan financial institutions to the shuffling their position around the end of the first quarter. So I wish they are not selling too hard on the US Treasury. I do not want
Right.
to see the 30-year goes above 5 or the 10-year goes above to close to 4.8-ish. But I believe at least that rebalancing period is done, so we'll be settled a little bit. Um, and other than that, I mean, I do not find some other much exciting things going on in Japan, except for there is a great place to be have travel. Travel. I mean, yeah, when you love, I mean, when you come to here, it will be great.
Oh, you know what? I've spent a lot of time in Asia myself.
Really?
It's funny. I used to be like I worked for this family office trading IPOs, let's say, and
Wow.
I was like the South Korea, Asia expert. So I spent a lot of time in like Japan and Asia. I traded a lot of IPOs in Korea, man. Like I had like,
Okay.
You got to tell me all the spots when I'm out there.
There you
yeah,
go.
well, Hong Kong. You know what? It's funny. I know I had another person that I know that is one of your LinkedIn connections that you may know. Well, we can talk about that later. But
You're
I
right.
think we have a mutual friend. So, all right.
Right.
Anyone have any more questions? I mean, I have a couple more I want to ask, but they're not really home run questions. Jeremy, you must have something to say.
I
You
got
always
one.
do. All right, go
So,
for it.
not too long ago, there was a bit of a shakeup. As you know, Trump was saying something about not wanting to really back Japanese defense anymore. Basically, we are their defense. They've got like the equivalent of a
Right.
coast guard and no real military. So since then, I mean, I wonder if there's been any moves for Japan to establish some kind of defense department that can quickly accelerate if it's necessary amid
Mm.
tensions rising in the region. So is that
Mm.
kind of anything that you might notice being boots on the ground over there?
Right. I think for Japan, I mean, technically they don't have military. They don't have any terminology of the military because after the World War II, Japan is
Right.
not allowed to have an official military, but they have a self-defense, the guard, which is the equivalent to the military, and they are one of the most well-equipped the armies in the world, based on my best understanding. So actually, the even the U.S. are pulling back of the some of the military from the Japan. I don't think Japan is worried too much. Actually, the one who will worry will be the South Korea, because South Korea in the technically still in the ceasefire between North Korea, and then which is one of the ground for the geographical tension in the Northeast Asia right now. So, and if we have a less and less support from the U.S. military, I mean, there has been some similar discussion for the U.S. military dispatch it to the South Korean the soil as well. So it will be definitely a concern for the investors and link it to the kind of tension between mainland and the Taiwan area right now. And we are seeing it. Yeah, this is KDEF. Is a Korea Defense. The
Yeah. Do they
ETF.
have any assets in there?
Pardon? What did you
Any
say?
assets in it? Let's see.
What's the AUM? He's trying to figure out what the AUM
Yep.
is.
Making sure it
It's
has
not in
money.
my yeah, not in my PA though.
Yeah, they're
But
at 33 mil. I mean, it's
yeah,
no EUAD, but it's
Would you buy
yeah.
this? You're saying, you said this is a buy here?
And that,
Uh, Korean investors are they buying a lot. Not
Right.
this
Looks like
ETF,
it.
but the equivalent listing Korean Stock Exchange.
All right.
This is getting close to
Matt,
500 million plus ish
Matt's
in South
tuned
Korea.
in. That was exactly the path my question was going towards.
Right.
Yeah. So, but some companies are, I don't know, it just went up just too fast. The valuation is definitely go nuts right now. And Matt and I discussed a little bit about this ETF, but at the same time EUAD for European defense. For me, is the European defense is a more direct beneficiary to the geographical tensions. South Korea, this KDF is a little bit of a side beneficiary of the attention. So, but for the next couple of years, I think that we will continue to my thing I think is that we will continue to hear about the defense names and how investors need to shoot play with around it. I think it will long lasting for a couple of years more.
Because something's got to kind of fill the void, I guess.
Yeah, it's
Definitely
true.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
fill the void. Yes.
So I can ask you another question, right? We talk about this. So, we have this discussion here about tokenization of assets. I mean, we're not the, we're not the first person to have
Yeah,
the discussion, obviously. So,
yeah,
the theory would be, the more you can tokenize, the more markets it opens up, Therefore, you could go into these other smaller Asian countries you can't get into now because of these regulations or whatever. Sell our
Right.
ETFs to those countries. Is that
Right.
realistic, or is that just too far in the future? Is that a pipe dream, or what do you think of that idea?
The caveat is I'm not a tokenization expert,
Right,
but my observation in here and my thing is let's think about tokenization as I mean, I can the use a example of some country has a like a landline first in terms of telecommunication.
right,
And some country like the India, they kind of skip the landline. They just go to mobile directly.
right,
And so there could be many different reasons, but like for them, they just found the setting up the mobile phone communication is much more efficient rather than the setting all the landline and go to the mobile. And tokenization could be similar. For some country like the US or the Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, Singapore, where we have a already good foundation and infrastructure for the financial market system, settlement system, the distribution system, all the legislation is
right,
there. We may not need a tokenization too much, but some country like Indonesia or the Philippines or the less developed the countries where their finance or asset management industries are not yet there. They are actually looking into tokenization. So in Asia, the Singapore has been the champion for the tokenization industry, and the many of the initiatives are actually linked to the Indonesia. So Indonesia, they don't
right.
have much of distribution channel. The online brokerage firm
That's what
are
I'm
not
thinking.
efficient. Yeah, so they found the tokenization as a one good way to bypass every hurdle to get to the that technology directly. But it's still in the very early stage or some testing or pilot the period based on my
Right.
understanding. So we'll see. Yeah, that's the observation I'm seeing in Asia right now.
Okay, so this kind of leads me to my next question then. I mean, so like, what does your day to day look like? Like, excuse me, I
My
just dropped my
day-to-day.
pen. Yeah, what does your day to day look like? Well, do
My
you're
personal
talking
day?
to advisory firms or money
Yeah,
managers, offices,
yeah.
guys in Korea, all over Asia? Who are you talking to on a day to day basis?
Yeah, so my day-to-day is the pretty much of traveling to the other countries. I'm based in Hong Kong, but
Yep.
travel to Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore time to time. The I spend most of time into the meeting the online brokers, our distribution channels,
Oh, I
and
see.
yeah, and in here, Asia, we don't have much of advisors. But not like US. US has a big RIA market, which is driving first for the every ETF shares. But in Asia, I mean, size is much smaller than US. So basically, the a few big, not a few, let's say 10 plus minus each of the big financial institutions are able to cover their nationwide
Right.
distribution. So it doesn't necessarily to be we need RIA for serving our regional client. This is not the case in Asia. But the function of that RIAs are working under big finance institution, for example, KB Financial Group or the Mira Asset Financial Group, or for Japan case, Nomura and Daiwa. Their financial advisors are serving their clients, but it's more like financial product sales instead of
Got it.
the exact RIA where we are seeing in the states. Um, the reason why I'm focusing more time on online side is the uh, so prior to joining the Rex, I also worked at the Vanguard as well. So that was around 2019-20. I was the reading the Vanguard Asia business. I mean, sorry,
You
not Asia.
traded up, they say, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I was in the heading the Vanguard Korea. Back then, the institutional market volume size was taking around 17%. Retail
Wow.
was less than 30%. But after COVID-19, right now, the retail is taking up around 80% plus minus ish. Institutional is 20% or less. That is case of Korea.
Wow.
These are quite vary by country or jurisdiction by jurisdiction, but some common observation here is the retail business has been grown very substantially, and then they love to trade it ETF in the States because of diversity, providing access, and then along with the many of the local financial companies are providing very uh, convenient or efficient or trading tool for their clients, which was not the case 5 years ago. But technology development is changing the landscape of the investor behavior in here.
So you're working mostly with online brokers, right? And and so the main markets are Korea and Japan and Singapore. Anywhere else?
Hong Kong, Taiwan.
Hong Kong,
Yeah,
Taiwan. And
Thailand could be exciting. Thailand, but they just recently open up. So Thailand.
right.
What,
Okay.
what about Vietnam and Thailand? I've heard those are up and
Yeah.
coming.
Quite a bit.
Thailand had just opened up the retail investors to trading leverage product. It happened 2 months ago. So I was there. Vietnam, I haven't have my update, but I will figure it out. Yeah.
All right, let me know if I should go to Thailand. My daughter's going to honeymoon there, so I could go with them. I'm sure they'll love it.
Wow.
Really? When
Yeah.
did it be?
She's getting married end of August, so
Oh,
beginning of
Congrats.
congrats.
September, end of August, I guess they're going to Thailand.
Then you
So
will
Right.
come.
I wouldn't mind joining them.
Right.
All right. All right.
Okay. So
Okay.
going a little further
Nice.
south, do you have anything going on in Australia?
Australia is a market itself is quite similar to the US. Australia is probably the only market has the advisor covering their clients.
Oh, I
For that
see.
perspective, is quite similar, and very strong the retirement pension system, which is called as a superannuation. So they only have a 20 million plus issue of the population, but the size of retirement pension is one of the largest in Asia at this moment, and that driving an ETF market in locally.
Right.
Not so much of the leverage inverse ETF side because retirements they want to some income generation or the broader diversified ETF has been welcome.
Right.
But Australia will be exciting market for us. But I have no chance to get there after joining Rex yet.
Oh, I see. I see. So let's just go back to that one more thing. We'll go back to that
Sure.
story you said. So you live in Hong Kong. You were talking about shopping. Why don't you talk about that a little bit? I thought that was interesting. We'll close with that.
Sure. So may sounds funny, but pretty much of every other weekend, I go to the Shenzhen, China, which is a neighbor city of the Hong Kong, around 20-minute drive over there. And primary reason for me go over there is to go shopping for grocery in the Walmart and the Costco. Hong Kong doesn't have Walmart, Costco, the Sam's Club, nothing in here in Hong Kong, but everything is in China, Shenzhen. So I go over there with my keys and eat something in the food snack corner in the Costco and buy some goods and come back. And that's been my kind of habit for last 4 to 5 months because before that, the entering to China requires a visa. Right
Uh,
now, visa exemption. So
and what kind of products are they? Are you buying American products or is it Asian products or is it a little combination of both?
I think the Costco in Shenzhen is a pretty much the same Costco you're seeing in the US right now.
Right?
Some of the goods are different, but pretty much the same. So some snacks and some of the beef,
Oh,
American
right.
US beef, I'm
Oh,
buying from over there.
yeah. So, all right. So, can you buy gold at the Costco there? That you can buy gold at the Costco here.
Yeah, gold, and sometimes they also selling the Rolex watch as well. I
Oh,
haven't
really?
some time, but there was a moment. There was a moment.
That's
All
cool.
right.
I had one last one,
Go for it.
particularly Vietnam. I've noticed that there's some tech companies shifting. production there. Intel is one
Right.
of them, and
Wow.
is that taking away some market share from the Chinese tech companies, or is it just something that's just bolstering supply chain just to make sure in case of instability that things end up balancing anyway?
No, I think Jeremy, you're correct. As they are taking a lot of the manufacturing capacity from China. So I talk about Shenzhen. So I'm living here is Hong Kong. Shenzhen is here, and then another country over here was called as it's a city called as the Guangzhou and Dongguan.
Right.
And that too, cities are very well known for all the manufacturings for the Samsung Electronics, LG Display, and many other global firms was located. All of them gone. They
Wow.
all moved to the Vietnam, Hanoi, pretty
Wow.
much Hanoi. And many of the Japanese the makers are also moved from this area to the Vietnam. So pros and cons, which is them maybe accelerating the job market issue in China, tighter, and but at the same time, it causing huge amount of the air pollution.
Right.
So I've been living for Hong Kong 15 years back. So when I first arrived, air was terrible.
I've seen
Well,
pictures.
yeah, unbreathable
Yeah.
when I go outside. But right now was crystal clear. So it was so nice. But I had a chance to go to Vietnam 2 to 3 years ago. I mean, no, it was before COVID. It was 5 years ago. It was terrible.
Was it?
There.
Mm.
Yeah. You do not want to walk around in Vietnam, especially if you go to somewhere near Hanoi. Ho Chi Minh is better. Ho Chi Minh is a much southern city, but Hanoi is close to the China.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
yeah, it's a eek. Yeah, terrible.
It's bad.
All right. Anything else, guys? Matt? Anybody?
No, I think we're good. Another interesting day. Nothing going on with the markets beneath the surface. There's a
Yeah.
lot going on. So again,
Yes.
stick with the themes.
Heck yeah. QQQ
Good.
just hit my other target, so another trade.
So, Geeseok, where can people find you, or do you have anyone you want to say hello to, or you have anything you want to say? Any place we can? I don't know what the word. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But
We need to network you more.
Any last words? Any last words?
Oh yeah, was it so fun? So call me next time.
All right.
I'll be more than happy to come out. That was a great meeting you, everyone.
All right.
Matt
Thank
and
too.
you.
Jeremy, Matt.
And
Was
thanks
great.
for staying up late for us, man. I know it's late over there.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's
go to
gotta
bed.
sleep.
Yeah.
Jeremy. Right. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again.
See
See
you
you guys.
later. Bye.
Oops.